Welcome to Local Gov Strategy TV. Today I've got with me Niall Bolger, who is the Chief Executive of the London Borough of Sutton. Welcome, Niall.
Hello.
Sutton has big Society Vanguard status. What does that mean and how is it affecting your engagement with citizens?
The Vanguard status, I think, was awarded to Sutton because of our historic attention to the needs of our citizens within the community. So it's a recognition of what we do anyway. But actually, it's meant that we've been able to give a higher profile to our work, engaging local residents in relation to the future of the borough. But also, it recognises the fact that we have quite a diverse range of voluntary and community sector efforts, which is contributing to how we are meeting the external challenges of the financial situation which the country is facing at the moment. So the big Society Vanguard status has enabled us to showcase some of the activities that we are undertaking, but also enables us to have some involvement of our local residents in relation to new initiatives, which possibly we wouldn't have been able to do as quickly as we would have wanted without the status which was awarded. Importantly, it's also enabled us to build good and sustainable partnerships with national institutions and agencies, for example the Young Foundation and other organisations that wish to be involved in looking at different ways of ensuring the communities can take ownership of their neighbourhoods.
And can you give me some examples of how you engage with citizens, perhaps particularly those who are more vulnerable and traditionally are harder to engage with?
I think a really good example of that is our work that we do in one of our areas of the borough called Hackbridge. Hackbridge is a socially challenged part of the borough. It has quite considerable issues in relation to previously developed land. It's got issues relating to how regeneration is being brought forward, which also is affected clearly by the current financial constraints on government. The residents in that area have been involved and engaged in pulling together their vision for their neighbourhoods, which is called a Hackbridge Sustainable Suburb. And so it's underpinned by some ideas which have been developed by a locally based international social enterprise called Bioregional. Around One Planet Living and One Planet Sutton is the manifestation of that approach locally. The communities in Hackbridge have been able to actively engage and get involved in developing their own plan, their own vision for a sustainable future, influencing the investment decisions of those who are coming forward with their regeneration objectives, but also ensuring that local services are bent to the needs of the local community. There's a very active engagement with our members, with our councillors in relation to the community forum which is established. And because it's a relatively challenged neighbourhood, one would expect that you wouldn't have that many people engaged. But actually there is regularly in excess of 100 local residents involved and engaged in looking at ideas about how they can implement their vision for Hackbridge to become a sustainable suburb, which really meets the needs of their own requirements, but also is mindful of what could happen in the future. Now, using that forum and working with that forum has meant that we've been able to pull in quite a lot of attention and a lot of interest from developers who are interested in the ideas underpinning their vision for a sustainable place. And I think that's been really, really important in terms of giving power back to local residents to determine their own futures. The other element I think is important in that particular example is the fact that they are now actively engaged in reaching out in terms of a proper discussion and debate about priorities within the constrained resources we have available. And that means there's mature conversations that take place about the choices that we need to make, given the fact that we've got less revenue and much less capital to spend within that community.